Now we review 2024's The Silence of the Prey. I think somebody wanted to remake Silence of the Lambs, but no. So, ladies and gentlemen, The Silence of the Prey is a film I think I've seen parts of before, and it sat in my inventory for some time. It was made last year. I don't know exactly how long. Probably a little over a year was how long it was sat in my inventory. But, one of the great things about having a job where you kind of are stuck there, you get to watch a lot of movies. So The Silence of the Prey is a film about an immigrant woman from Ukraine here with her daughter, and she is taken to a remote location where she is to be a servant to an older weirdo. And of course, him being an older weirdo, he's kind of to go with the theme of Silence of the Lamb, he's kind of the Buffalo Bill / Hannibal Lecter of the movie. Rolled into one. Yeah, it starts out as him just being weird, and then just keeps being weirder, and then, devolves into this bizarre, religious manifest destiny that scares the heck out of you. Yes, this guy is a weirdo. Begs a lot of questions. To be clear, his weirdness, look, this is one of those movies where it makes sense. It's in the middle of nowhere. She doesn't have a car. She can't just leave. The weirdo is there. He has no phone. She can't go out there and run to the authorities. She's an illegal immigrant. So the film is even more poignant in the modern day where it's like we've had the crackdown and everything. But the war in Ukraine is a thing in this movie. And, it's like the creepy trapness of this particular woman, because it's not just her. If it were just her, she'd go and run, but it's her and her child. So the child is a big part of this movie. It is a big factor. And in true horror movie fashion, there's a scene where they make her strip and you see some things, this is true nakedness as opposed to nudity. The difference between nakedness and nudity is just being unclothed. Nakedness is exposure and vulnerability. So the film is actually very well done in that regard. The special effects are pretty solid for this particular movie. And, in reality, as horror films go, for being a film that I don't believe was in theaters, this is a pretty good film. It is really solid. It brings the creep factor. You're not watching this film looking for a huge body count, but the body count you get, what you get out of this film, I honestly have to say, I thought the acting was pretty good. Now, this film is liberal. It's a film that if anyone made it, it would be an extreme liberal. Someone from the left wing describing right wing kind of extremists. There's concepts of we came over on the Mayflower and all that sort of stuff. And, these concepts of, I'm a Christian, therefore I have the right to do whatever I want to the heathen, and things of that nature are very prevalent in this film. This very heavy-handed sort of messaging that portrays the right wing as being, out of touch and not understanding, which is not entirely fair, at least in terms of the war in Ukraine. I think both sides are pretty out of touch in that particular regard. But yeah, it's weird how this film feels so political. It feels like a political statement, villainizing right-wingers and so on and so forth. You have on one side the immigrants who are the good guys and the hapless victims, here trying to live the American dream, trying to be free. And on the bad guy side, you have the religious zealots and their concept of all consumption and mastery and manifest destiny. So yeah, in terms of a horror movie, if those things don't bother you, this is a great film. I mean, do understand, this is a film that doesn't exactly portray Christians in general in a pretty good light. Although I do believe all the people involved would be under the Christian or Catholic demographic, depending whether or not you consider a Catholic a Christian. Some people don't. But in terms of horror movies, yeah, this is a great horror movie. It is very horrific. The horror there is palpable. There's a psychological element to it. You're not attacking me, the hero. You're attacking my family. You're attacking my values. You're attacking my well-being. It's the people that can't protect themselves that are the true victims here. And that is what makes this truly a horror movie. There are a few pretty cringy scenes, and a few characters that are just a little too on the nose. But all in all, for being a movie that I don't believe had its stay in theaters, this is really well made. It's a tight story, and it's definitely in the upper half of your watch list. I would recommend this movie to horror aficionados and your casual horror viewer as well. It's a solid film, particularly given the season. Anyway, that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I'm Richard.
Greetings, humanity. I'm Randall the Rat, and I'm here to remind you that, well, you should probably comment, like, and subscribe now. And why? Well, the world isn't all that great, and Random Street Theater here is trying to change it. We do things like have trash removed from the ocean, pay for trees to be planted, and even feed orphans. And you can help. You can comment, like, and subscribe, and it's free. When you think about it, if you don't do those things, well, what are you saying? Are you saying you don't care about the ocean and trees and even orphans? Well, sounds like you're a bad human. And you have a delicious face.